here we are. Vacuous Perspective, episode 93. Here with me, Dan, of course, as always. Val, good to see you.
Thank you.
Tunge, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dan.
Anytime. If you want to get in touch with us, email vacuousperspective@gmail.com. I think it
Very
is.
close. Very close.
At mail. We don't like Google. I apologise. At mail. Or you can call me on 04.
Yeah, we're doing that as well.
No. text line.
It's good to be here.
Yep.
Dan, you've had a bit of a look change.
Yes.
I think last time we had you on, you had a big beard.
Yes. Went to the barber.
Yeah.
Clean face now.
Yeah.
And a little moustache action there. But I just, to be honest, just trying to be a bit cleaner. The last one I was too shaggy. I like this look.
Okay.
Bit of scruff. You had a big haircut IRL as well, didn't you? You shaved for charity or something like that?
I did. Yep.
Yeah. How much money did your locks raise?
It was all a combined effort. A lot of people had a beard and head shaved. I think we raised about 20K.
Jesus. That's worth it.
That's pretty great. And what was it for, charity-wise?
Movember.
Great. Okay.
And the goal of Movember is to
raise awareness for men's mental health and also looking after guys who are going through cancer treatment and things like that.
But man cancer, like the testicle cancer, the prostate cancer.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
colon.
You've also had a bit of a change. You're not wearing the back chat shirt anymore. You're wearing a hoodie.
No, I lost that shirt.
It's gone.
I'm also just trying
there.
to adjust my mic. So sorry if my head's doing weird things.
No, that's fine. Tunge, since last year on?
yeah, bit of news.
Yeah. Okay.
Most importantly, I've been promoted. No,
Yeah.
I had a wedding that I was the wedded.
Yeah,
You got wet.
The candidate.
I was wed. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
You know, like you go into something like that, you have lots of expectations. You have lots of, preconceptions about what's going to happen. How's it going to look? What am I going to say? How's the
Sure.
dance going to go?
Wow.
And everything went fine.
Yes.
You kept waiting for something to go wrong or something not
Right.
be up to standard, but everything just kept soaring.
I know.
So it was good.
Was it like good, not great, or great?
It was great.
Great. Great.
Yeah. I don't know. I struggle with like compliments, as in paying compliments. Gratitude, appreciation, all that stuff. It's
You
like
struggle with gratitude.
it's not my default setting.
Right.
I sort of have to like
Oh,
very
okay. You
mindfully
mean
get into it.
okay? Yes. Okay. I know what you're saying.
So it's like, oh, thank you for doing that thing. I was writing an email today and I said to my desk mate, I said, I hate writing, I hope you're doing well at the beginning of an email. I just don't want to write it. Like it's not like I don't want them to be well if I don't write it. Right?
Yes.
Can we just imply that everyone's well?
Or hoping
and
that everyone's
and that
doing
the hope
well.
is there that
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you're
There's
well.
hope
I
out
hope that-
there. Yes.
I don't
You
wanna say
skipped
how-
over a whole bunch. I thought you were talking about the wedding. I was at actually both your weddings. I know Tunge my whole life, being that we're brothers, and I worked with Dan, and Dan worked with Tunge. It's a bit of a
Triangle.
yeah. It's a bit of a
Yeah, that was a
triangle.
different life, Dan, wasn't it?
I just think about it probably once a week.
It's so bizarre.
It's
There
not
were lots
affecting me. It's just think about it once a week.
There were lots of
think about
characters there, weren't there? Behind the in the staff room, in the in the patrons. They were everywhere. The characters.
Mate, I just think of
Mr. Bottle of Brandy.
Yeah, can I please have a bottle of brandy?
So you guys worked at a liquor store, right?
That's exactly how he sounds. Yeah, we worked at a liquor store. next to a bootmaker.
Yeah, so, he was a cobbler, right?
Yes.
And the suspicion that was more or less confirmed multiple times was that he was stealing drugs out of his cobbling shop.
Oh, jeez.
And he had a little protege. You know, that little fella that sort of ran with him.
Yep. He threw a bottle of whiskey at me once.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he threw a bottle of Jack Daniels at me as I was chasing him out of the store.
That was your first problem.
Yeah. And I remember the manager, let's call her she got angry.
Bleep that.
She got angry because there's like scuff marks on the bottle of the Jack. Like, so he threw the bottle of Jack Daniels at me, missed my head, hit a pole, hit the ground, didn't break somehow.
Oh, no.
And there was scuff marks on the bottle of the glass. And
on the bottle?
On the bottle. And she was just like, well, how are we going to sell that now?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I thought you were going to mention the floor, and I was like, that floor was like barely polished concrete. Like, how could you be upset about that floor? It was scuffed already.
Right. No,
but it's even worse. It's the
we're not potentially
talking about the unsold merchandise.
No.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there was a bit of a, I don't know, you exited quite gracefully from there, but mine was less graceful.
Did I leave before you?
Yeah. A couple of months, maybe even a year.
That's grim.
And
did you get fired?
No, I didn't get fired. But I sort of stood on my own 2 feet, and without saying anything, basically said, I'm not coming back to work for you, and goodbye.
MFR.
But yeah, it was made clear to me that my services were no longer not required. They were required, but
wanted.
We just weren't seeing eye to eye.
Not your services.
And, it kind of reminded me of the zone, like that zone you get into when you're playing laser tag, because I was sort of mildly fired from there. Like, I'd started working at the casino, and he said, you can't have both. And I went, yeah, fair enough.
Why not?
Really the same thing.
But conflict of interest.
I'm surprised at that.
It was more like I wasn't giving them the attention that they needed.
Now, I remember the hierarchy of that joint. The hierarchy was study comes first. So it was study, work, and then whatever remnants of a social life you were scrounging up at the time.
Yeah.
No offense to people that have worked in the laser tag industry. But I've been to laser tag. And you walk in and you sit down in a room, some guys are like, all right, guys, who here's played laser tag? Yeah, maybe. Great. One rule, no running, right? But have a lot of fun and go get them.
Okay. So that's not it. That's not the briefing that I would have given.
Yeah.
That is pretty spot on.
How could you
pretty
not
pretty
doing
close,
your job well enough for them to be like, hey, you're not giving your all? Like, what else what are you missing?
Probably more a question of time available, because you were probably studying at the time. Were you studying at the time? Okay.
Yeah, not really. Because like in my early studies, I kind of just stopped. I wouldn't tell anybody, but I would just stop. Like one time I was at home and Mum was watching me not go to uni by being at home. And she was like, don't you have uni today? I was like, yeah. In a bit. And then eventually it was like 4:00. She's like, I'm certain it's got to be now, right? I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going. So I just took the car for a drive. Came back a few hours later. But
how was
I live
class?
and I learn. Yeah. I drove to Northam.
No, you didn't.
Northam's not that far.
To miss uni, you drove to Northern and back.
No, just to have just to not be in the eye of Sauron, just to escape the watchful eye.
It would have been easier to go to uni.
To uni, yeah, at that point.
Oh no, but the class was at 2:00 or 1:00. It was already long gone.
Dad, you don't understand. It's either go at 1:00 or drive to Northern at 4. There's two. I only see two options here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can tell you, Dan, that the briefing that we would have given, in our heyday, I can probably remember the rules. But this is after the video plays. So we have a video now. You just plonk the video on, teaches them how to play. So you don't have to do the whole bizzo of how to put a pack on and all the rest of it. You get to skip straight to the shouty bit, which is while you're in there, no running or jogging. Have to put that in there.
Or jogging. Yep. I was jogging though.
I was briskly walking.
Buddy.
Yeah. What they don't tell you is that at the whatever you want to call it, semi competitive level, people are sprinting around the fucking arena. It's not really a thing. Rule number 2, no physical contact. Don't touch anyone else or anyone else's pack.
Sometimes I would say of any kind.
Physical contact. Just make a pat on the back or something, or a high five. You get kicked out for giving your friend a high five. I've seen birthday people get kicked out on their birthday.
The birthday boy or girl.
Yeah. And they're pretty excited to be there for their birthday. Anyway, I've seen it. Help me out. No physical contact. No something.
Climb?
There's
something about the obstacles.
Yeah. No climbing. Was it jumping as well?
Yeah, definitely no jumping. If there's no jogging, there's no jumping.
Just jumping around.
There would have been something about don't climb on the obstacles. Yeah, there would have been something about that.
And did it end with, and the most important rule is have a lot of fun?
No, it never did.
What was that? Was it Badger? I never worked with Badger.
So Badger's opening gambit was, who here knows the first rule of laser tag or something? And everyone would say, is it have fun? And he'd say, no, it is not have fun. The first rule of laser tag is you do not speak while I am speaking. Anyone who is talking while I am talking will be removed from the briefing and you will not be playing laser tag here today. That's the opening gambit. Whether you're the birthday boy or you've been there 10,000 times, this is how he opens.
He's so power hungry.
But it's so good.
But it's a game you have to play. You have to defeat the children.
At one point during that day, he's going to say, does anyone know the first rule of laser tag? And some sheepish little kid is going to put his hand up and say, is it not talk while you're talking? And he would say, yes. It is do not speak while I am speaking. And if anyone does that while the briefing is happening, they will be removed from the briefing and they will not be playing laser tag here today.
Spiel.
Yeah, he gave it to them. And he put the fear of God into them. This was not a 19 or 17-year-old kid delivering this speech to you. This was a weathered, grizzly, old man. And he was true to his word. He would remove people.
All right, I remember a kid
lost his tooth, and he thought as a way to comfort him, he would go over and show his teeth, which weren't in good nick. And he went, so it doesn't fucking matter.
You could be like me one day.
You're going to be just like me.
But he was a really good guy, really, really nice guy outside of that thing. But he taught me how to put the fear of God into the children because otherwise you can't get them to behave. They're excited. They're here for their party celebration. And you are there to
curtail that as much as possible. You meant to get in there. It was the first time I got referred to as the man at that place.
Oh, yeah. As in you're the man?
No. I know what you mean. I've experienced this as well.
A parent says to their child, tell your pizza order to the man there. And I went, oh, baby, I'm the man.
Yeah.
The little boy behind the counter, tell him what you want. Tell the little boy.
Yes. Tell that 16-year-old, the man, that man over there. what type of pizza you like.
Okay.
Let's move along from the strange man.
The pizza was also I feel like a strong orderer. Like I if you give me like 20 people and like minimal information about what their preferences are, I will make sure everyone has what they want.
Yeah, you
partly
have to
due to
become
that.
master of that.
Because like, you know, some like you've got like 20 people and one of them is going Hawaiian, and like that's not happening. I need more numbers. I need more support for the Hawaiian cause. If I'm going to be ordering,
how are you
going to
satisfy that one person then?
He's going to be unsatisfied, but that's because I mean he just doesn't have the numbers. It's a democracy.
Yeah, but someone's close second favorite pizza is Hawaiian, so you order a Hawaiian.
That's also true.
And
you
that
get
gets
one in
chomped
there.
up anyway. Like, old mate
Sometimes I'd be selling Hawaiian to later entries just to be able to bump up the numbers. I'd be like, "You like Hawaiian though, right? Surely."
I'm trying to gather support for Hawaiian. What are your thoughts? You like pineapple?
It reminds me of I thought you meant like you had a strong memory to remember everyone's pizza order. Like, you know, everyone would go around and go, this.
No.
I don't know if it was with you, Val, at a job where we worked, like that we'd have a game where you'd go, all right, everyone give me a breakfast order and your coffee, and then you had to recite it back.
I wasn't in that game. I was part of the Sky Vista cruise and the Bishop and Clove cruise and the other breakfast bars around the area.
Sky Vista, yeah.
Do you have this feeling about every workplace that you've had that it's basically a sitcom? Like there's a sitcom waiting in every workplace,
job,
basically.
Yeah.
But that one especially, all the stories I heard about the place you guys worked was just, that was like...
Yeah, definitely. It was
there were story arcs, there were dramas.
Oh, there was some hectic shit that happened there, bro.
You know, there was some light harassment.
That was a stalker. We worked with a stalker.
Yeah, it happened.
When does it become stalking?
Probably when he chases her down the street saying, "Give me a chance." And she comes back an hour later crying, saying, "Chased me for an hour, wouldn't leave me alone."
Play that.
Well, I don't have a live bleeping mechanism, so it doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, if his name, I don't know what his name was, can't remember.
Sure. We just name
She
him.
came back. She said a name. Who knows what it was?
That's not how I remember it. I remember our boss running out the door straight away.
To chase him down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That may be, I mean, there was several times.
There were several occurrences that were a bit funky, yes.
The thing that was just funny about that whole situation, and not that any of it was really funny, but if I had to pick one thing that was funny about that was the girl that he was really interested in, that he kept pursuing, wasn't straight. So like she had no interest in men.
She wasn't interested in him.
In him,
she wasn't interested in anybody of his
in
gender.
men in general. And I don't know how he didn't realize he's like trying to like make a switch or something. I don't know what the goal was.
Well, I've been there.
Well, was it? Yeah, I remember that one. But was we don't know if she was out at the time.
Yeah,
she didn't really tell me, and we were good friends, or we still are. We're good friends. I'm
pretty sure she referred to her girlfriend a few times.
Okay, well, that would be an obvious hint.
No, look, it happens to the best of us, you know?
I've heard this one.
Not the stalking, but like
the conversion.
Having a fling with someone who later turns out to be, or to proclaim to be.
But there was no fling.
Not in this situation.
Not in this situation.
But I would just speak to like, I don't think it's a conversion thing. It's just like a desperate hope, you know? It's just desperation. Right. Like you're like, I'm so close, you know, like, but he probably wasn't that close.
No, he wasn't in the same galaxy.
I think it's natural for people to form strong bonds or even feel like they're having strong bonds with people they work with because they spend so much time with them. Those relationships are pretty important. Maybe she left him a Post-it note one day and he completely thought that was it. It's on.
She said, "Hope you're doing well" in an email.
Keep pursuing it. Yeah, she said, "Hope you're doing well." In the
She
email.
hopes you're doing well. Get her. Chase her down.
Dan, last time you were on, what did we talk about?
I remember we talked about the guy that was trying to reverse aging.
Yeah, that was the lead singer or something from AC/DC. Brian Johnson.
That's right. Yeah, same name. There's like I see a photo of him probably every week.
Really, this guy?
Comparing him from like 4 years ago to today.
Yeah,
and he just looks leathery and shiny and
he looks like a guy that's had
oily.
plastic surgery. He doesn't look a guy who's aging in reverse.
It's not good, is it?
No,
but he's still probably taking his son's blood or whoever that donor was, right?
Yeah, he's still doing all the stuff. I mean, he's figured out the cure or whatever, the formula.
It's like 100 pills and a bunch of blood.
Yeah, he does like a teaspoon of olive oil at 3 a.m. and then like it's so meticulous.
Sounds so fucking boring. Just to stay alive.
He spends millions of dollars a year on it.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard one of Nate's things that he read prediction-wise is that he said that 5 years' time, we're going to start living forever.
Right.
I've heard.
As in the technology will be happening.
I always thought that we'd be the last generation, like the generation below us, like Gen X will be the last to die, and then the millennials will live forever.
Isn't that just like the craziest thing ever?
No, but no one wants to live forever.
No, but we've never had access to that before.
No, but I'd live for as long as where like superheroes is like, I just want to die. Like it always gets to it eventually.
It always ends that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Yoda, he just pieced out under a blanket. You know, he just went invisible under a blanket. He had a gutful.
Yeah, he's having the ultimate lie-in under that blanket, just sleeping it off. I was talking about with a couple of friends on Saturday about blood, like young blood.
Yeah, about blood.
At what price point are you getting into the blood market? Like how you, like if it becomes sort of widely available as like a treatment, you know,
a one-stop shop.
Yeah, like $5,000 for like a bit of blood.
Sure.
You know, and you get a bit of energy. You know, like you're not taking it out of the people.
Right.
Like it's pre-packaged.
Okay.
So they've
This argument sounds the same as, you know, eating a steak.
They've donated the blood, right?
Okay.
And they've sold it as a commodity, and then you get to, you know, whatever, you know, have a transfusion every month of some like spicy 16-year-old Filipino blood or whatever, and then you feel really good. You have, you know, your lung capacity goes up. You know, are you entering the blood market, Dan, at any stage?
As a seller, yes.
No. Okay.
But I'm not.
I think you're past the. I don't think 30-year-old is 30-year-old blood is out.
Really. That's being generous, isn't it?
Yeah, both in our 30s.
Yeah.
The thing is that the blood is so scarce at the moment. You know, I donated blood once, need to do it again, and they call me every third day, going, "Hey, need some more blood." So I just don't know where all this excess blood is that we're going to buy when people need it every day. Like, is it a black market product or are we going mainstream?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to take it out of the black market and have I don't want to do anything. But like in this scenario, the black market is dissolved by a real market for fresh young blood. Now,
what Dan's saying is that at the moment, we have people donating blood for free, by the way.
Yeah, there's no financial incentive. How do you increase the supply?
No, but we still have a blood shortage for people who need it, not even people who want it.
Just want fresh blood.
Yeah, need is different to want.
I have quiet suspicions about the blood donor market. I feel like they're sitting on it they've got those big blade warehouses.
Yeah,
of blood.
That one.
And there's like an artificial, you know, supply crisis where they're like, oh, we really, really need it. Just give us some more blood.
But why? What's the benefit?
Oh, because Sandra Bullock needs a new face. Like, it's all about just like, if you want to pay to play.
So they're vampires.
Yeah. Well, they're not,
Blade.
That's the thing is like, I am beholden. Like, if I was to believe Big Blood, right, I'm supposed to be donating all the time as a universal donor. But I don't, because I feel like I'm giving enough. Like, society wants
what are you giving?
My taxes, my time, my energies.
Can't your taxes go to getting some blood?
What time are you giving? Who are you giving time to?
Yeah.
My workplace. I'm trading my time for money.
No, you're trading your time for money for the taxes. So your taxes covers your time.
All right. Well, I'm doing the taxes, and I just feel like
and my social conscience is clean.
You're doing the bare minimum, okay?
Yeah, and
you want to enter the blood market also, so you need some scrounge up for that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either blood. No, I think I'll go with blood. I think that's the.
All right,
that's
so
that's
Tunge's going to get on the blood thing as soon as it's available. By the sounds of it,
I'm not going to purchase it. I'm going to be like I'll have a blood clinic.
What do you think about the fecal donations?
What are you talking about? People aren't doing that.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
Yeah, so the lead singer of Boy and Bear, Australian band, he had a disease, or has a disease.
Oh, I know this one.
Some autoimmune sort of disease, and he needs the good poos in.
Good poos. I know about this.
So he gets a feces transplant from some dude that matches his same biological need or whatever.
Right.
And he gets
he's got all the nice bits in it.
Yeah, and he puts it into...
I'm curious as to what the procedure is for that. Like,
it runs it through a machine or something, and then he takes it. I think then he inserts it into his butt.
Yeah, you don't eat it.
No.
Yeah.
But it's incredible that you can't. It's incredible that you can't take a pill or something that does the right things in your gut and then sends it down to the poop chute. We actually need some healthy shit up in this bitch. It's the best we've got.
It does seem to be like you're sending the message from the wrong direction. Like it's like, how is that affecting the rest of the...
Here's what I want you to do. You're sort of piping it up. This would be better if you could do this.
The colon recognizes new poo and it's like, oh yeah, this is what we should be doing. Way more of this stuff.
Have you seen this? Wait, come over and see this poo.
Check it out.
Fuck me. Where did this come from? It's a mystery. We're gonna reverse engineer this shit.
Yeah.
So we did talk about the man who wants to live forever, BJ.
Sorry, yeah.
We did talk about that. Hey, you had a late night, didn't you? Did you watch the Mavs play this morning?
I did. Yeah, woke up at 3:30.
How did that go?
Watched a horrible basketball. They just got pumped.
It's the playoffs, right? First round
playoffs. First game of the Mavs playoff series against the Clippers, and
they got clipped.
They're 0-1.
Clipped and plopped.
Oh no!
We are 0-1. It's fine. We're not meant to win the first two games.
They're away games.
All we need to do is win one of the first two, and we're okay.
I'm curious about one thing with the NBA, Dan, and if you could shed some light on this.
Let me tell you.
There seem to be like team profiles, right? Mavs has always been a strong international team, player team. San Antonio has always been like a team first, no nonsense, fundamentals basketball team. Like, I don't need a star. I want Tim Duncan, type stuff.
Yep.
Tim Duncan's not a star?
He was a star, yep.
He's a star, but
top 10 of all time, potentially.
He's a great player, but he didn't play like he wasn't like a...
Yeah, he wasn't a diva.
He wasn't flashy. He wasn't like, whatever.
Okay, yep, I'll see that.
Mr. Fundamentals, what they call
First question, why? Second question, what other team profiles do you see out there? But first question, not just why, but like... I've always had this suspicion that it's like marketing based. Like you want to appeal to a greater amount of people. You want more eyes on. How do you do that? Well, you put an Australian guy in the team. You put a European guy in the team, etc., etc. But go on.
I don't know if I have a good answer for you. I mean, probably based in that you change coaches and players a lot, but the ownership stays the same. They usually have a head of basketball that's been around there for a while, so they have a vibe, I guess, to the club of what they want. But I mean, Dirk Nowitzki, European. Detlef Schrempf before him, European. Now Luka Doncic, European. Like, so yeah, you're right. Big white European dudes at the Mavs, but I don't know why. I can't give you a good answer.
To the marketing
but
sort of
correct.
point. To the marketing sort of point, I can see that working in reverse, like when Mason Cox played for Collingwood to try and get some American eyeballs on the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably worked. I don't know how much an NBA team is going to benefit from an Aussie gaining some Aussie eyeballs. I don't know about that. We are a sport mad nation in Australia, but really only follow a couple, most people.
Is Luka the best player at the moment? He's pretty strong, right?
He's top 3 to 5.
With the others being
Nikola Jokic, number 1.
Giannis.
Yep.
Who else is big at the moment?
Harley Reid.
Harley Reid.
Yeah.
Harley Reid.
Yeah, because I was gonna talk about the Eagles game because holy shit,
yeah,
it was wild.
Yep.
We were both there, Dan.
Yeah, didn't know that each other was
If I knew
there.
you were there, yeah, that would have been
like
cool.
50 meters apart.
Yeah.
How
what a
good
game!
is just screaming at the football.
I love the football just for the screaming.
We love football. I was, especially when we were winning, I was calling ball, like holding the ball every time a West Coast player tackled
touches someone. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's wrong, but it's fun. Just a scream ball. 50.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the home team advantage thing because you said, we weren't going to win the first 2 games. We're away. We got the next home game. It obviously plays a part, right?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm tipping only the home teams this year as part of my AFL tipping.
Oh, how's that going?
I'm not doing great.
Well, it's a pretty fucking weird season so far. So I think you're forgiven.
Plus,
you don't actually have any choices to make.
No, I have no choices.
You're kind of stuck, and
it's incredibly freeing.
Yeah, no, that's great, isn't it? You're tipped for the year.
Well, sorry, I'm sort of like I do get one away tip a week. I get one, but there's always one obvious one.
You didn't tip Freo this week, did you?
I did tip Freo this week.
No,
Sick,
you locked in as your certainty that we were going to get done at the Derby. I think everybody who walked in there that day, all 55,000 people, of the Eagles supporters that were going, thought, hey, I'm going to a Derby and we'll probably lose. I think that's what pretty much all of us thought.
Yep. This was my one away tip and I went free. That's poor form. I put my hand up.
Oh, man.
I don't do tipping, but when I do, I just hate tipping against the Eagles. It feels so
it's dirty. It's dirty.
I don't want the win. Like, I don't want the win on the tip. Like, I'd rather the team win. And then if we both win, because I tipped them.
Yeah,
then,
but you obviously haven't played in a tipping competition since 2018 because...
No, I don't tip.
It would have been pretty hard to tip the Eagles last couple of years.
I was just let you know, we have 285 people in the tipping competition.
Yes.
And the tactic of only tipping the home teams and one away team every week has landed me in 255th position.
Holy shit. That's way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe you got some good weeks coming up.
One of the guys that's in it has tipped the entire year in advance.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he had to do it before game 1. And the other guy that's involved in it as well gets to tip the favorite, like on the odds every game, and he gets one roughie.
That's what a friend of ours has done in their tipping competition for the last couple of years. He's the back-to-back reigning defending champion. He never loses the competition, and he just backs the favorites. And he goes, I don't even look.
Yep. It's good. It's probably a decent way to tip.
Of course, based off the odds. I mean, everyone wants to pick that one team that they're like, no one's going to do this, and it'll put me over the top this one. So that's what everyone's looking for. They're all there for the thrill. It's not fun to have the decisions taken out of your hands, but it is freeing, isn't it?
Oh, so good. It doesn't. It just means like when I have a bad week, it's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
I'm told what to tip.
It's their fault.
And I make sure I message every football team and tell them they ruin my tip.
Yeah. So you walked in on Saturday night thinking, hopefully it's a good game, we'll probably lose, right?
Yeah, hopefully it's a good game for a half.
And when you watched it, Tunge, you thought, probably going to be a good game, probably lose. Well, no, not even that.
No, look, I always back him in. I always think they're going to win, honestly. Like, 100%. Like, I don't give up hope.
You don't believe that?
Honestly. No, I'm not. This isn't a bit. Like, I'm serious. Like, I don't go into a game thinking they're going to lose. Even if I suspect that they might.
I think it's easy to take that point of view now because they've just had 2 wins on the trot. I mean, they could Mighty Ducks this whole season. Let's lock it in.
I want to lock it in. Gold Coast next week. They could win that.
3
Gold Coast are bad. But then they play Collingwood away.
At the G. That's a lock.
But we beat them at the G a lot. That's where we beat them. Collingwood.
That's true. Then we have Melbourne at home.
That's a problem.
We also have Adelaide, which is a win, and we have St Kilda at Optus, which I think is a win.
So at the start of the season, they were talking about the Eagles getting 3 wins this season.
No, 0. Some sort of 0 getting thrown around.
I was throwing around the number 3 as a let's get excited about 3 because I think it's 1 more than last year. What do you think now?
I reckon the line's at 6.5.
Oh, okay. So we can't make top 8. We're not going to be top 8.
No, we're not going to make top 8.
I had a bit of an interrupted viewing of the game on Saturday. Like, I started the first quarter, I was watching it at home, then I went and caught a movie. But after the first quarter, like on the way to the movies in the car, I'm just locked in on my phone, got streaming, pause it, I get out of the movie, lock back in. And I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, I can't believe this. It's so good. I was so pleased.
It was,
and then for the first time in like, as long as like many years, I rewatched the game the next day with sound and everything. And I was just like, this is unreal.
Yes, I want to do. I haven't done that. I think I'm going to do that today or tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, it was
because watching it at the game at the ground was great. But I want to.
Yeah, the broadcast it does a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to do both. If you go to something, it's good to watch it. I do the same if I went to a UFC event. I'd love to see it again, but see what they were saying at the time and stuff. It's great.
I feel like a big part of, I don't know, watching anything nowadays, whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever, and I think you've mentioned this before, is the like, I want the commentary afterwards. I want to read I want to see what people are saying about it afterwards.
I watch the thing to watch the analysis. Yeah.
As soon as I finish a series, I go straight to the Reddit sub and I'll just read fan theories and comment. That's great.
It's a reason to get into something big is to get exposed to that sort of stuff as well.
And I don't know, I think it says something that like a positive result for the team in this instance created like a bigger shockwave. Like there were more comments, there were more everything. And because, I think, because people want to get out there and gloat or whatever, but like when things are really bad, you've got like
happy. There was a bloke sitting in front of me who looked almost to the point of tears, wondering if he was dreaming, like asleep. He didn't know if he was conscious. He kept saying, like, is this real? He was an old man, but he didn't know if it was real. That was fun to see. That was fun to see this dude lose his mind.
That's West Coast magic.
Oh, that's
Harley Reid magic.
Yeah.
No, it's West Coast magic. It's just beginning.
So I'll just for some context on this. So we do the podcast, the Shelter Footy Cast.
I love the Shelter Footy Cast. I would watch it anytime.
Yeah.
Okay. So anytime. It was centered more around West Coast. It has had the same amount of views in the first 10 hours that it's been live that an episode would usually get in about a week.
Yeah.
But the engagement, the comments,
the likes. He just said they got it in a day, what they would get in a week, right? Or a couple of days.
Half a day.
That's wild.
And 60 comments, people just like going back and forth.
Yeah,
and
people
it's all
are
because they're excited. They want to hear things about it.
Yeah, because there was nothing much to report the last couple of years in terms of, well, the boys went out, we got pumped again.
Yeah,
so, all right, great. Well, I guess I'll just pretend that AFL doesn't exist for the week, and I'll see you boys on the weekend. No, it is exciting. Harley Reid had a bunch of good highlights. I officially don't know how the Rising Star works. You can't get nominated twice. Is that right, Dan?
Correct.
Why did they do
And
that?
then at the end of the season, they can award one winner. But every
of the nominees.
It's for overall performance, though.
Overall performance, yes. Okay. But then you can't. You can just. I think it stops Harley Reid winning it every week. He should have won it last week.
I agree.
And then
but I thought that this week, and I only watched one game of football, and I was
the week before against
before Richmond, Sydney.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. He played really well on the weekend. Took a couple of big grabs.
So
a few goals,
big
man.
Grabs.
Waterman was so good.
Plug on Waterman.
Yeah.
And
Barras also smashed it. One thing I wanted to talk about at 3/4 time, I don't know if you were in your seat, Dan, getting ready for the third quarter, but Yo was getting a few fucking ready.
Elliot ready. Yeah. No, I didn't see.
So there was a big ad for V energy drinks.
It's the Rev Up, the 3/4 time Rev Up.
It was something like he's straight to camera and it's like a locker room or something. He's like, the last quarter's about to begin. And he points at the screen and he says, big things are about to happen.
Right.
Big, exciting things. And we need that big coast energy from you.
Big coast energy.
And he kept going like, so we're going to need you, the crowd, to get behind us and the boys and, for that big coast energy. Said that a bunch of times.
It's a rev up.
Yeah. And he said, and it's about to start in 5. And then it went 4, 3, 2, 1. The bounce happened. And Yo has to line up on his direct opponent, surely, who might just want to give him a cheeky jab about maybe if you're on about, nice work. Hey, where's that big coast energy? Because my thought is always, we've been getting pumped for years. How does it feel to be at the ground? You're 40 points down. It's 3/4 time. Big things are about to happen.
Surely they can't do it in blowouts.
That's what I mean.
They would have a commercial obligation to do that. They've probably sold that for like $30,000 a game.
Yeah. Hey, it's Elliot. Yo, the third quarter's about to begin.
Oh, boy.
It's a bad day out there. We need energy still. We do require an energy boost, but don't expect a positive result.
The thing I love about the footy, and you the screaming, Dan, it's like footy has the best vernacular of screams. Yeah. Like there is such a nice coordinated attempt from a crowd to will something.
Influence the game.
And it's like, imagine like the whole basketball stadium saying foul or and one. It would be so hype, like if they said and one in unison.
Sure.
And ball is the best thing to say. I when I went
in the back.
Yeah. Oh, deliberate. Like the word deliberate should not be able to be said by a bunch of people.
The other classic is when someone calls for something. So say it's ball. They go, oh, and then the umpire doesn't call it. Followed directly by a boo.
Yeah.
So you get that from the other side of the ground.
Or
like, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it a yeah? I don't know if it's a yeah, because no one's yelling goal when the goal gets scored. When the ball goes through the post, no one says goal. We all just it just becomes a cacophony of something. It's just it's so thick though. I think if you've never been to an AFL game, I don't know what to compare it to. It's wild. We've been to indoor UFC events. That's 14,000 people, probably comparable to a an NBA sort of game. And that gets pretty wild.
You went to the biggest UFC.
I did,
Almost 100, right?
How many people were there? No, it was 50-something.
Was it MCG?
55,000.
Was that Marvel?
Eddie had back then. Yeah, Marvel. Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey, UFC 193. Saw it happen, record crowd. It was mental.
Ronda's been having a whinge on the old socials about that.
About UFC?
She's like come out on I think it was Steve-O's podcast. I don't know, you don't want to mention the competition, but Steve-O's podcast. Steve-O was asking her, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I had a sore knee and I fell down some stairs and
at
I'm the
193.
best. And I'm the best. Like, I'm the best because I fell down the stairs. It wasn't my fault that I got
She's probably the
slapped
best.
silly. Well, she got slapped silly twice.
Oh, she got knocked out. For sure, twice.
But twice.
Yeah, twice.
And
but that's because she started trying to knock people out. I think she punched Beth Kohaya out and then thought, I can box. And then she was talking to old mate, what's his face, and he convinced her that she could box. And then she tried to box one of the best female kickboxers in the world and got her head caved in. It's pretty elementary stuff. Just go in there, flip her on her head, take her arm. She'd still be the champ today.
No.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes.
Nah, she would still be the champ today.
Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, she probably would have crushed her face off.
Just
no, she hasn't fought in a long time.
No, sorry. She's still in the WWE.
No.
Yeah, she was having a whinge about that as well. Well, not a
yes.
whinge.
She was sexually assaulted allegedly at the WWE. So
I didn't hear that.
There was a
guy.
Did
you hear that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there was a guy who either groped someone she knew or something, or groped her, and she got very upset about it and said, "This is bullshit, dude," and called him out on it. Apparently, but I think they've probably just got other things going on.
Do you remember China?
Yeah, China.
The
I love
wrestler
China.
Yeah.
With a Y.
I remember there's one match that I remember where she was in it and someone came up behind her to uppercut her in
between the legs.
In between the legs, yeah. And like she didn't react and he was like, what the heck? And then like did it again and she didn't react.
That's
classic. And then
classic.
I think she turned around and like did something to
Power slammed him something, yeah.
Yeah. But then I also remember another time someone groping her chest in the ring and it was like a joke thing.
Totally.
Yeah. That's why
it was probably quite prevalent and, still happens.
I think it was Triple H.
Yeah. And he's big boss now.
He's the boss now.
He's Vince McMahon now.
He's Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon got accused of some horrible things.
Yes.
One of them sticks out is that he apparently defecated on a woman's head during a threesome.
Yeah.
Obviously that's really bad, and I feel for someone who got defecated on. But
obviously,
the coverage around this particular thing seems to suggest like he did it deliberately, whereas I find it much more likely that he just like shit himself in a sexual encounter, and like I think they're milking it a bit. This one, just the
allegedly after that happened, he said, "I'm going to take a shower. You guys can finish up." I'm just saying that's apparently what it was in there.
Well, what does that imply? Like that he didn't mean to do it?
My work here is done. I'm pretty dirty.
Yeah, look. To me, it's really believable to think that, he's an elder fellow, even at this time, I think, and he just lost control rather than being like, hey, check this out. Like, I don't think that's ever like, is that a good move?
You don't think, people do that. People would do that.
Well, mate, like, can you get gratification from pooing on someone? Is that what's happening?
I've never
Is that
tried.
the suggestion?
I've never tried.
Can one?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
obviously,
they're all, horrible crimes, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I just meant that it was a bit funny, not funny, but it was a bit odd. It struck me as odd that there was no benefit of the doubt around some sort of poo threesome accident extended. In
People
this
poo the
instance.
bed all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just having a look. There's a video on YouTube, WWF Raw, China v. Pat Patterson and Briscoe,
Oh, yeah.
and they throw like the chalk powder in her face, like mid wrestle,
Mm.
and then they like take turns in touching her. Like one of them slaps her on the butt, another grabs her boobs, and then the other one he's like points, and she's like she can't see, and she's like swinging her arms around because she's blinded by the dust. And then the other guy grabs her boobs, and like then the other one smacks her on the butt.
Yeah. Meanwhile, everyone in the front row is like taking notes. Like, so throw
Pat
shit
Patterson
in her
and
face.
Gerald Briscoe, and they're like laughing, and they're like slapping her on the butt. Like I can't believe that was a thing.
What? Oh, yeah, no. It was the 18th century.
It's kind of like Shakespeare. You know, like Shakespeare was for like the people, like the scum, like the people, like the poor
scum.
people who like they were the only people who
Shakespeare was
went
for
to
the poor
those
people?
shows.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like the aristocracy didn't attend those shows. They were in some like dodgy part of town, and lots of people were like, "Bloody drink
Great.
the poison, you know, Juliet, drink it."
Cool. Bit of audience participation.
And I think wrestling's the same thing. It hits those same notes. Like it's like the spectacle of it. That's another thing. That's another like crowd experience. Like
You're not defending the boob grabbing and the
No, but it's like it's about shock factor. It's about being crass for crass sake. And if everyone's consenting, it's like a theater. You know, like you can't be like, oh, you can't act as if something bad happened to you.
Sure.
Because
I don't think that's what they were saying. I think it's more the case that they were saying this is okay. Like we're doing this.
It's more
the
like
example being set.
It's more like look at how crazy these people are.
Right.
These characters. You know.
Right.
heels.
Dan, how were the audience reacting to the boobs and the?
They were loving it.
Pretty low res video, but I'm sure.
Were they loving it? Cheering or booing? They're not booing, are they?
Didn't have audio on, but I'm sure like Rick Ross was
Rick Ross.
doing those weird screams. And
The rapper Rick Ross. No, Jim Ross.
Jim Ross, yeah.
Jim Ross and
My God.
Jerry Lawler. Is his name?
Jerry the King Lawler to you.
bloody hell.
My God.
With
Rick Ross has
wrestling,
a really like. Sorry, just thinking about his beard. It's like way too cut.
who's that? The Patterson.
Rick Ross.
Oh, Rick Ross. Oh, yeah, that
His
does freak
beard.
me out.
It's way too like finely trimmed. I don't like it.
It's like that, you know, when the guys go to Turkey and they get their hair painted on
exactly.
or whatever.
It's exactly
and it's like,
that. Yeah.
these lines are too. It's a bit unnerving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be, once you're going on that straight path, it'd be pretty weird to put a little kink in it. Might as well just make it. If it's going to be straight, let's have some right angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a bit like doesn't look good.
No.
It's bad.
Okay.
You're not balding, are you, Dan?
Not sure. No, not currently. I'd say there's like some recession. If that a word.
What's the word? What's the word?
Receding.
Yeah.
Yeah, recession. I think it's right.
Yeah.
But when I went to the barber not too long ago, I said, "What do you think? Like, is this precision?" And he said, "I don't know." He said,
Expert advice.
Sometimes it just like goes back a bit. It doesn't mean that it continues forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go gently into that good night if it was terminal? Like, would you rage against the dying of the light?
As soon as it's there, I'm getting the clippers out and I'm committing. That's my new life now.
No. So, because I have dreams of George Costanza, Bill Bailey, people who preserve as much as possible.
Larry
David. Great example. Didn't Larry David call someone out for not being a proper? Oh, that's right. He was on Letterman, and the guy who was doing the band, he's a bald guy, And Larry David said, he's not a real bald guy. He's not a real bald guy. We don't know how bald you are. We don't know how bald you are.
Because he goes full skin.
Because he goes full skin. And he's like, no. You cannot be part of the bald society. Because we don't know how bald you are. It's so funny. He goes, but the way he attacked him, I think he said something like, "Oh, we're both bald, Larry." He goes, "Oh, no, you're not bald."
That's good.
It's really clever. No, so I would like to think that I would George Costanza it up, and then let that bad boy go all the way to Bill Bailey.
I don't think we're at any risk. Well,
I don't know how it works.
Well, if it's not showing, you're probably
how do
safe.
I know? It's all covered by more hair.
My thick, lustrous hair. I can't see if I'm bald or not. It's got all his hair in the way.
Finty.
We talked about your stand-up actually last time you were here about The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I just always have The Office on repeat in my brain all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to think about it when anything comes up at work or in life. Just quote it.
Yeah.
It's an illness.
it's a problem. But it used to be The Simpsons when I was a child. Those were the lines that were buried into my head. It was all Simpsons quotes back then.
Yes. Yeah.
Now it's just, some TV shows. It's a shame.
I did stand up once as well, Dan.
I was there for that.
It was really hard, and I felt horrible during and after.
Where was it?
It was at a record store. They had stand up show, and there was some actual proper stand ups there. Like a guy who had been playing in a few clubs in New York, who had been working over there.
I think I know who you're talking about. Very funny.
Yeah, he was good. There was another guy who had this sort of Andy Kaufman type character where he was this sort of nervous guy.
That was the guy I thought you were talking about.
Great.
He was hilarious. He had some really strong bits.
Oh my God.
The one that I remember of his was he goes, "Inside of me there is a little cup, and each one of your laughter."
A poem that he wrote called "Ode to the Audience." You should probably mention that, but right. Yes.
When the audience laugh, a single tear runs down my heart and fills up this cup. And when that cup is full, I'm the greatest performer alive. I can do anything. I'm floating on air. And when that cup is empty, I tried to kill myself 3 times in the past 6 months. And I was just like, whoa, wow. Oh, damn. And it crushed. It was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And I went up and it was really hard. I did a bit about what's the deal with no, I didn't say what's the deal, but the premise is I like the Olympics, but I don't understand swimming because just do the fastest stroke. What are we doing here? There's not a running backwards 100 meters, there's not a 300 meter run like a chicken,
right.
Just run fast and win. This whole swimming, I'm a good butterfly. I'm a butterflyer. You're a shithead.
Right.
I hate you.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's got legs.
Yeah, that had legs. Although freestyle, you can do whatever stroke you want in that event.
That's freestyle.
Yeah, no. That's called a forward crawl, what people do in the freestyle event.
What? So if my butterfly was quicker than your forward crawl?
Yep. You could do that in the freestyle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just a bit of boring swimming trivia for you. Yeah, there it is.
And then at my old work recently, it was a Friday, and one of my desk mates said, I'm doing the MCing at the Christmas party this year. And I was like, oh, yeah, MCing, huh? And I went quietly back to my work, but instead I was writing jokes for the MCing, and that when I had a little focus, an area of focus being,
the workplace.
This is the company is the butt of the joke.
Sure.
And all the stuff that they do, all the initiatives that they pull, all the stuff that they're doing.
Jesus, how deep do you want to go? Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. I can write like sort of weekend update types like style jokes on this, being like, hey, this law firm did X and Y lately, and get a load of this punchline.
Yeah. No, I have been watching a lot of Norm lately because of the OJ Simpson thing. When OJ died,
dead.
I started watching. Yeah, OJ died.
Started rest in power, King.
Stuff.
No, don't rest in power. But any death it's a death. Rest in.
Okay, great.
Rest.
Norm
rest.
had lots of bits about it. I think he had one where he said something like, "So and so, one of the lawyer's wives, recently called out his behavior for being ridiculous." He said, well, at least I didn't kill her like someone I know.
He got pretty. Wasn't that what mostly got him off SNL?
Yeah, apparently like the guy who ran Saturday Night Live.
He's a personal friend of mine. He's a personal friend of OJ's.
Not Saturday Night Live, like at the sort of network level. Is a friend of OJ Simpson's and was pretty upset about the stuff he was doing, and probably the other stuff as well. Like he was saying all sorts of stuff about Michael Jackson, like really crazy Michael Jackson jokes. And someone asked him, "Dude, are you trying to get sued by Michael Jackson?" And I said, "No," but secretly I was. So he was, because he thought it would be cool to be in a courtroom with Michael Jackson.
It kind of would.
He's like, "Oh, there's Michael Jackson. Like, this is cool." So he was just doing whatever jokes he wanted to. It sounds like he wrote a lot of those. I don't know. I thought they would have a big writing staff.
He did. There was a guy the guy who did that Epstein joke on Conan.
Yep, I remember the guy.
That was his writing partner. What's his name? Jim something.
Yes, I remember seeing that bit.
Jim Jones.
That was so good.
No,
that was so good.
Not the cult leader Jim Jones.
Jim Downey. It's a really funny episode.
Jeff Epstein. Jeff Epstein. Yeah. The financier. With the island.
Nice try.
Yeah. I would think, with all due respect.
I tell you what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll call Ghislaine.
We'll call Ghislaine. Yeah, it's brilliant. Bloody hell. I still can't believe the Eagles won. But, I'm locking in now. I think we should we should lock away some finals. See how the rest of the season goes. It should be great.
Premiership.
Yeah,
getting a tattoo.
I love the
Flaggles.
I just love the Eagles.
Yep.
I just love them.
We haven't even got Oscar Allen in yet. We haven't even got Liam Ryan in yet. We haven't even got Matt Flynn in yet. We haven't even got Elijah Hugh in it yet. Like, there's just so much to come.
Oh my God, that sounds exciting. That was good.
I'm hyped. I love the song. I think we should sing it. I think we should sing the song.
What, right now?
I think at all time, I'm always it's always in my heart's always singing the song. And I really want, if I could get a message to the West Coast faithful, it would be get behind the song. They need us. Like, the team needs us to be behind them.
New song, old song?
The song. There's only one song.
Well, yeah, but they've changed it again.
Yeah, and they've changed it to the song. It's the song.
The new one.
This is the type of back talk. This is the type of sniping and cynicism that
I think the new one's a little less Ian Kenny heavy. But yeah, I'll take your point.
There's a new one?
I think so. The one that they played after the game on the weekend felt a little bit different.
No, it's still Born as Pride in Isolation.
It's Born as Pride in Isolation. We are isolated. We are Born as Pride. We're fucking Gert as well, but he doesn't mention that.
There's a fortress, guys,
Yeah. I tell you what.
We grow as champions, yeah? Who else can
the team
grow?
Is a personal friend of mine. And I guarantee he has no care whatsoever.
About the song.
If the fans get behind it or not.
The song.
Well, I mean, respectfully, I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Because it's more than it's West Coast magic.
It's Bonner's pride.
We're prideful.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
what
we
else
are
to tell
the correct age for people to be lifelong Eagles fanatics, though, aren't we? I mean, by the time we were conscious, we were just winning premierships, and we just always felt like we were winners, right? And we just kept finishing. We never finished outside the 8 ever in our childhood.
I woke up to the Eagles in the late 90s, so that I had a bit of trouble,
right,
getting going, but it wasn't too long until it was 2005.
You got treated with Ben Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, we had Glenn Jakovich.
It'll be the same with Harley Reid now. It doesn't matter if we don't do anything for 5 years. We just get to watch Harley Reid every week.
That's true. I love Ben Cousins, and I watch Such Is Life probably about once a year, maybe twice a year. I watch that documentary, and it's a good documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's very poorly made, and it's boring, but he's got this sort of like shit-eating grin on all the time. Like he's like, man, I was getting so fucked up on the weekends. And you can tell he's so pleased with himself.
Like,
he's like,
on flex.
He's like, I knew I had a problem. Like it was in control, but it was like out of control. But it was
okay. But he didn't need to do that, right?
I think most people in the throes of addiction don't go, hey, let's film some of this shit.
How can I document this so that I can help people later or whatever? Because I think the big point of that is that he's everyone grew up with him as being like a big hero, and he needed to show like, hey, I'm your hero. I'm just a person as well. I've got problems, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. I've actually got some really bad ones. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the news. Good on you, Ben.
Yeah, good on you, Ben.
I'm rooting for you.
On the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
It's very impressive to see someone be that down and deep in it to then come out the way he has. It's actually... Yeah,
it's quite. It fits him though, right? Because inspirational on the field. Obviously, everyone who knows anything about football knows who Ben Cousins is and how good he is. He didn't have to make that doco. I make that point again because, there was no reason unless he had to. So that was quite inspirational to some people who are dealing with addiction and other problems. And then you've got he's the comeback, which is inspiring again to other people who are having problems.
Guy jumped into the Swan River to evade police. He swam across the Swan River. This is like, I've got the shit-eating grin on now. I'm so happy with that. I love that. I love that story. I mean, don't evade police. Don't drink and drive. Don't do any of that stuff.
We've all evaded police on that bridge.
We've all had a swim.
We've all swum across.
Which bridge was it? Mount Henry? Because I have done that run away from the Polizia on the Mount Henry Bridge, and it was scary as fuck.
You ran from the police on Mount Henry?
Yeah, on Australia Day one year, we were on one side of the foreshore, we wanted to get to the other, and these guys were like, we'll just hop this fence. I don't know why I was with these guys. They're like, we'll just hop this fence and we'll go across the bridge. And this was pretty close to fireworks time. This is what we found out. Hop the fence, start getting yelled at, run, make it across the other side of the bridge, hop over, and then the fireworks started going off a few minutes later, maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, the fireworks start going off from the bridge. So they weren't keeping us out of there because they were, wanted to ruin our fun and stop us from crossing the bridge to see our friends on the other side of the foreshore. They were literally like, we've closed the bridge because it's about to become a fireworks display. Yeah.
You were a bloody miscreant, weren't you?
I made mistakes. But yeah.
Right.
No, this was great. Thanks so much.
Anytime.
It's good to catch up with you both. Independent of our regular catch-ups. And good to talk shit.
Next time, Tunge, if you wouldn't mind just covering up the chest a little. Slightly distracting.
I was wearing the tee previously, and I thought let's gussy up a bit. I didn't realize there was a couple of buttons. If I could do the buttons up, I would.
You're giving me vibes of like recently divorced dad gets on Tinder.
Well, you would know about that, wouldn't you?
There's a recently divorced dad who is currently on Tinder. Yep.
Oh. He got himself. He got him there, but then he got himself. Same time next week, we'll be back. Well, not all of us, but we'll see you then.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.